Welcome to the new Workology Go Podcast. In just under 5 minutes, we'll get you the HR and workplace news you need before you start your day 2 times a week. Get ready, get set, and go with the new Workology Go Podcast.
Here are today's HR and workplace news headlines from the Workology Go Podcast. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. This podcast is sponsored by HSA Bank. I've been really focused on how to squeeze more out of my workday. And I will say that I have tried so many different online tools, to-do lists that are supposed to help me get more things done. I had a client I worked with last year that really overwhelmed me. We used no less than 5 different project management, communication, and productivity tools all at the same time. Things like Facebook at Work, Slack, Asana, Google Drive, Zoom, and email. There are a couple others, but they escape me right now. At the time, I was using several productivity tools myself, and I was going insane. As I was wrapping up with this client who uses all the things, I talked with productivity expert Maura Neville-Thomas, who had this to say.
It is a huge problem, and I see attention management as, it's sort of self-explanatory, right? We understand what the two words mean together, managing your attention, but really, what specifically is it? And to me, it's really a collection of behaviors. It's not just one thing. Attention management is sort of the same concept as healthy living, right? There are a whole bunch of things that go into healthy living. And some days you do some of them, but not all of them. And some days you're really good at it. And other days you're sort of really bad at it. But you try. It's a focus. You decide that, I really want to be healthy. I want to do things that are good for me. And so you make it a focus. And so you try every day. And some days you're good and other days you're not so good. And I see attention management as the same thing. It's sort of a collection of behaviors, things like focusing and building up your ability to focus and the ability to effectively manage your distractions, controlling your environment and controlling your technology. It's the ability to be present in your moments, to engage your flow, to get so engrossed in something that the time just passes and your highest and best self comes out. All of these things give you the ability to sort of unleash your full brain power on your life, your full consideration, your attention, your full presence. If it's a personal thing or if it's a professional thing, it's all of the benefits of your wisdom, skill, and abilities to bear on the issue at hand instead of this sort of halfway, I'm sort of listening, kind of, but I have so much else going on right now. And, oh, look, there's an email that came in and I'm sorry, what did you say? And, it's funny. There's a part in my trainings where I talk about, okay, I'm going to show you this thing and I want you to answer these 2 questions. So the first question is X and the second question is X. You ready? Here we go. And I show them this image for 3 seconds and then I say, now what do you think? And they go, what were the questions again? So this is sort of how we approach our lives. And it's really just diminishing the quality of our lives.
Today's featured story comes from Vox, and it is titled, The Productivity Pit, How Slack is Ruining Work. The article mentions that the average worker spends an estimated 28% of the work week managing email and nearly 20% looking for internal information or tracking down colleagues who can help with specific tasks. But when you add in these type of platforms like Slack and the others I already mentioned, it's hard to juggle which ones you should be connecting on, not to mention the feeling that you need to always be on 24/7, as well as the need to cross-post the same message on multiple platforms. Ever get an email, phone call, text message, and an instant message from the same person who's trying to connect with you and you're in the middle of a meeting? While I'm no longer working with the particular client I mentioned, I have also pared down intentionally the productivity tools that we use. Me and my team now rely on Slack and email as our main communication. I do have scheduled weekly meetings to touch base, and I have committed to using a daily paper planner called the Panda Planner to help create processes and systems to help keep me more organized. The crazy thing is, this paper planner is working. I've been using it since January of this year. I'm feeling less stressed, and I'm seeing things more clearly because I'm creating boundaries in my personal and business life. I'll link to the Panda Planner and other resources that we have talked about today, but I hope that this helps you rethink some of the productivity tools that you and your team are using, and maybe it's too much and it's creating this information and resource overload.
With health savings accounts, flexible spending accounts, health reimbursement arrangements, COBRA, and commuter benefits, HSA Bank is simplifying the health account experience for over 35,000 employers and 2.7 million members alike, inspiring everyone to own their health. Learn more at hsabank.com.
And that's this episode of the Workology Go podcast, sponsored by HSA Bank. We're your go-to for HR and workplace news. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. Thank you for listening.
To learn more about the Workology Go podcast, subscribe to us on Apple, Google, and Stitcher. Our podcast is also available on Alexa and Google Home. Learn more at workology.com/Go podcast and access this episode's resources, links, and reports for more information.